This dog happens to be mating with his owner's Nana as he gets chased by doing so. Let's see how it led to this. The movie kicks off showing a dog named Bull who is seen humping with his Nana's right foot. But as she reaches for her fallen lipstick, she accidentally grabs his penis, feeling disgusted by it as she throws him off, but still has an unfinished business. Hungry to mate so good, but as he sees his crush from the window, he began acting normal. Honey lives next door as she secretly has a crush on Bull. She goes by to chat with him, letting Bull know she's going for a dog show coming up soon, and she has to practice her smooth gait. Although Bull sees it as something fancy, though feels it's pointless at the same time. In details, Honey explains the whole point is for the dog lovers to judge and feel them as they document their lineage, give them extreme care to reproduce a perfect specimen. Thinking outside the box, Bull started a fake accent, saying he's the right specimen to breed with, but couldn't keep up with it when she agrees. Bull got nervous as he chickened out immediately. Nana calls him for a walk, promising himself to be ready next time he starts the accent. At noon, Bull takes a walk where he meets his pack Rocco and Tartakovsky, who in his entire life desires to learn the ways of human. Bull tells Rocco how he felt when he had a conversation with Honey. Rocco knows what's going on as he tells Bull to profess his love for her. They paused for a second as they spot their friend eating something, ignoring the fact it's cat poop, saying it's tasty by the way. Finally, they reached the Giggly Field dog park. Everyone seems excited as they rush to smell each dog, but which is a dog tradition to know who to mate with. At the park, they saw their old pal Luther, who seemed to have just returned from the hospital, faking his smiles as he suddenly burst out in tears, saying he thought they loved him enough not to remove his balls, saying they gave him all the good things, including filling the toilet with Kool-Aid, though tries to calm him before Sterling comes overshadowing everyone. Although Bull had the balls to face Sterling, slamming all the insults back to him. Honey joins the conversation, but Sterling cuts in as he flirts with Honey in front of Bull, felt intimidated as hell, so Honey gives Bull a sign to mate with her, the traditional way, right there. But funny enough, Bull got nervous again as he chickened out when he hears the leaving whistle. Just when Bull was taking a nap, this owners began to give him special treatment, like making a mess in the house and digging through the trash, but Lawrence is about to become a ballless dog, according to Luther. After the whole treatment, Bull meets his crew, informing them he'll soon be ballless like them, as he feels convinced Honey won't want anything to do with a fat ballless dog like him. His crew seems to be annoyed with his alterance as they left him. Bull starts reasoning the fact they show him unconditional love doesn't mean they have the right to take away his balls, as he makes up his mind to run away from the house and meet new friends. Bull becomes a street dog now as he walks freely, saying one last goodbye to his balls. He names them OL Spice and Napoleon, but didn't think things through that he'll be hungry at some point. A smell from the food festival draws his attention as he steps in eating people's leftovers. After the meal, as a loose dog that Bull is, he doesn't know the smell of cigarette as he deeply inhales it, making him be in a state of illusion, where he sees Honey licking his balls, but finds out it's rodents when he starts feeling pains. Bull struggles to fight off this trauma of him losing his balls. All of a sudden, his balls began to talk to him as they run off, although still in a state of illusion. Bull began chasing after his balls as he finds them safe in the hands of a cat, but realize his balls are in between his legs. Despite that, normally cats can't stand dogs as they try to gang up against him. Got so lucky as his pack came back for him after all, he said, but they understand it's a ball loss fever that was disturbing him all this while as they all take the attack of the cats fleeing off to somewhere safe. Bull left hopeless again, but to ease his worries, Rocco reminds him they don't have theirs. But he still has his balls to make the best of it, telling him tonight they all are off leash. They began new mission to kill the squirrel as they go wild, pooping in no-go areas. While crossing, Bull seems a little excited as he gets knocked by Honey owner's car, where he tries to tell her he loves her, but drives off because they're late for the dog show. Bull felt hopeless, but once again, Rocco gives him courage, not to give up, but to chase Honey to her destination. They disguise themselves to blend with the crowd. While inside, the crew stares at other dogs as they look perfect while Bull go in search of Honey to let her know how he feels for her. Sterling happens to be the male winner of the dog show while Honey wins for female. At that point, Bull felt his no match for her as he gives up trying to profess his love for her. Just right on the stage, Honey's thought of being special freaks her as she reflects on Bull's words, saying being different isn't bad after all, before she spots Bull walking alone. While searching for Bull, Rocco saw his look-alike as he rains insults on Rocco, forcing him to punch him on his face. Reginald owner didn't know she's with the wrong dog as she drags Rocco on the stage. Rocco isn't prepared for this as he hates being touched at a particular spot, forcing him to go wild. The crew found Bull as they try to cheer him up by being in the mood to do something. Some guys walk past them talking about some hump house, a whorehouse for dogs. Rocco suggests they follow because it sounds fun. As they arrive at the place where they met, a guard dog named Frankie welcomes them, but Tartakovsky stayed back, looking at Frankie, saying he hasn't seen anyone like him before, triggering Frankie to take him to a place inside. The place really looks intense as Rocco advises him to forget about Honey for now and relax. A lady dog sights them as she comes Bull's way. Bull like what is seeing as she introduces herself as Molasses. But again, Bull gets nervous as he insists to get her a drink where she takes him somewhere, to Tartakovsky and Frankie. Tartakovsky feels comfortable as he opens up to Frankie, he's never satisfied of how he chases a new smell or taste, which he defines it as his real truth. But Frankie defines him as someone that struggles to love himself. Saying feeling different makes him who he is. Frankie licks his balls, which seemed pleasing as Frankie asks him to do the same. Anyway, when Molasses and Bull was alone in a room, Bull kept blabbing about Honey, even though Molasses really wanted a taste of him. She got fed up of his talks as she tricks him to help her scratch her back, readying him to mate. Honey happens to have followed Bull in as she stood in shock to see Bull in that position. Bull tries to explain, but the cops showed up, catching as many dogs as possible, including Bull, Honey, and his crew. In the dog jail, Honey happens to have a chip inside of her as the security man scanned it to inform her owners of her location. In the morning, her owners came to take her home, mentioning they have to head home quickly for her big playdate as the champion. Judging from Sterling's words in the park, the male champion breeds with the female champ to reproduce a perfect specimen. Hatched a plan to wet the whole area as his escape plan as he carries other dogs along. Just when escaping, Tartakovsky says he's going to look for his own Honey, which obviously is Frankie. Tartakovsky stands everywhere screaming Frankie, which he finally finds him, happens to see a poster of him, realizing his owners actually miss and love him, but can't understand why they want to take away his balls, but runs fast to his fence where he sees Honey and Sterling getting ready to mate. By the way, Sterling arrogance irritates Honey a lot. Bull can't stand it as he says he'll jump over the fence and beat Sterling up. Rocco decides to support him as he lifts him up where he lands on places before landing on Honey, very close to her virginal, as he moves closer, allowing Sterling to mate him without him knowing, uses the chance to tell Honey how much he loves her since they were pups. Just when Sterling seems to be done, Bull quietly sneaks his way out without Sterling knowing. Honey couldn't believe what just happened as she didn't say a word. Bull looks really traumatized. Sterling's sperms are inside him as he walks to go dump them as poo, where his owners welcomed him with open hands. Later that night, Honey comes knocking as she runs off with Bull following her. Before Bull could talk, Honey confesses her love to him, although Bull tells her he'll soon lose his balls, but Honey tells him she likes him for him, not for his balls, before they proceed to have a romantic time. The next morning, Bull seems ready to lose his balls as he has done the one thing he ever wanted to do. 3 months later, Bull walks down the street confident without being worried at all. At the park, when Honey comes with Bull's puppies, Sterling seems quite confused how this happened before his owners drags him to get rid of his balls. Honey requests the puppies stay with Bull, while she goes out with her friends to Ladies' Club where a male bear strips for them without knowing Bull and his crew were out the window watching. I'm guessing you enjoyed the movie. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more mind-blowing recaps. Thanks for watching. See you next time.